Well, good morning, everyone, and it's certainly a pleasure to be here at such an encouraging and refreshing conference that's very forward-looking. And I certainly want to thank ARIA for inviting us to participate in this particular session this morning, and to thank Paul for his help and support as we've prepared and also facilitating the session today. So yes, I am Vicki Barbur, and I'm the CTO at Concurrent Technologies Corporation, and I'm actually a physicist by training, but I do have a PhD in color and spatial pattern discrimination in human vision, so it kind of lends itself neatly into this space. And today, I'm going to be talking really about augmented reality as it applies at CTC, and specifically as it relates to our client base. Now, we are essentially a federal R&D contractor, so as you can appreciate, we work extensively with the various DoD agencies, so to some extent, that drives our application space. But before I get into some of the use cases, I'm going to set the scene with a little bit about CTC so that you can see the kind of markets that we use as our enterprise space, talk about how we focus our augmented reality platform, and then I'll drop into some video clips that kind of highlight where we are using this particular technology. So CTC is a non-profit applied R&D organization. Been in existence for about 28 years, and obviously we are focused essentially on creating solutions for our government clients as we move forward. Overall, the company has around 700 employees, and we work out of around 25 locations. The critical mass of the folks are based in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, as well as in Crystal City, which is just outside the Pentagon. We have affiliates. The Enterprise Ventures Corporation is a profit-based entity, where often when we have developed our solutions, we move them from a technology transfer position, and we have a foundation which is focused on community and charitable efforts. So CTC looks at a whole gamut of markets within the federal government, whether it be advanced manufacturing and engineering, energy and the environment, logistics, secure information technology solutions, or simply advanced intelligence solutions. So you can see that we have a whole range of areas in which we can apply our particular capabilities. And we do that. We have a lot of capabilities, and we develop our solutions based on that expertise. But we also invest our own fundamental R&D budgets into emerging technologies, and on the right side there you can see those areas: additive manufacturing, 3D printing. We work in metals though, not polymers, simply because the kind of equipment that our clients are using. We're also focused on big data analytics, and I guess that's not surprising, based on the fact that there's so much data and it's only increasing. How do we ingest that information? How do we interrogate it? And how do we present it to our clients in order that they can make improved decisions? Then we're focused on energy storage, which is about redox flow batteries, because as we deploy clean energy solutions, renewable sources of energy, we need to be able to store that energy for future use. And lastly, we're focused on immersive environments, and that's obviously the one I'm going to spend most of my time on today. So what do we focus on with respect to our immersive environments? It's really all about how can we augment human capabilities with additional information that essentially blurs the line between the real physical world and the digital world. And also, how can we sense and adjust the information that we present to the individual so that they have much more real-time situational awareness. It's all about understanding the context in which we're in. It's not presenting them with everything. It's actually how do we augment their particular space with the information that they need to make decisions. So we are blending many of the applications that we have developed over many years in multi-interactive, multi-intelligence systems to effectively allow us to then deploy these blended reality solutions to enhance that human performance. And you can see at the bottom of this slide that for several years we've had what we call a virtual human terrain scenario training, which essentially uses a flat screen, computer-generated avatars to essentially train individuals to understand cultural differences and how different cultures might respond to information. So we want to make it much more realistic as we go forward. Now, to a large extent, based on the information that we've developed over a number of years, we have what we call our architecture concept. And you can see here that the engine of this is really that data ingestion, taking the information, structured or unstructured data. And it could be from satellites, it could be from maps, it could be from foundational 3D data that we need to ingest. And then to actually combine that, correlate it with the unstructured data that we're all familiar with, whether it comes from social media or other such similar systems. Once we've ingested that information, we have a series of immersive environment services that can actually be applied to that ingested data and then manipulate it in a way that we can present it to the individual. We are also agnostic to the edge device or the display device that we use. We're not focused on anything. It can be what is relevant to the client in their particular space. So presenting that additional information can be done in a virtual reality environment, which could be done in a mission control, or it could actually be done in a fielded physical environment to help someone make decisions in the field. So it's kind of almost, as I show in this next slide, looking at a mixed reality plan, where we move from the real environment with additional information to enhance capabilities back to the mission control, where we have the virtual reality environment, again, with additional information superimposed upon it. And as I mentioned, we are agnostic to the way that the information is presented to the user or the individual based upon our client's needs. And we know that there's a variety of these, and we're willing to work with any of them depending upon the need of the client. So now I'm going to drop into some of the use cases. And this first one is actually about object recognition and the ability then to interrogate rich heterogeneous data sets. Now, believe it or not, the example that I'm going to show here is related to a mission that's taken place, and I think many of you will appreciate that after there has been a military mission, there are often unexploded devices within the landscape, which have to be essentially collected or identified and removed to make the area safe again. Right now, once this occurs, an explosive ordnance device technician is deployed to the site, and believe it or not, he scours the land, and once he finds an object, which he may not see all of, he'll see part of it, but he takes out the tape measure and actually measures that device, captures the information, either manually walks it back to mission control or somehow sends it back. The information is interrogated, and he will get some information about that particular device. So our team, if you could start the video here, has developed a tablet system that involves a 3D scanning camera that once the object has actually been located, no matter how much is visible, can actually be scanned. And during the scanning, then it obviously creates a three-dimensional model for that particular object. That information is immediately sent back and interrogates the heterogeneous data set that is available to provide immediately the information about this explosive device. So at that point, the technician knows exactly how a detonation, a safe detonation, needs to take place, or in fact, how he needs to protect the area to make it safe for those that may be around. So it's certainly been a step up from the tape measure and a pen and paper, as you might say. The next one that I'm going to talk about is this storytelling, and I think that, again, this may not necessarily be a breakthrough because there are many applications of storytelling, even to some extent the one that Vuforia just mentioned with the retail situation. But what we have here is CTC worked with one of the local museums to effectively make a museum visit much more interactive. If we could start the video here, please, that would be great. Basically, what's happening here is that there's an embedded QR code within this particular museum display, and having downloaded a specific app onto either a tablet or an iPhone, immediately on scanning that exhibit, a real-life character jumps out. And rather than having a headset on or reading a notice by the side of the display, this is a character from the actual time of the display and can interact with the user in a much more dynamic way than actually the passive museum experience that I know many of us have actually participated in the past. So we have also seen this as something to deploy our skills, our augmented and virtual reality skills, and obviously it has many ways that it could be leveraged into other areas. This next case is what we call mixed reality, and this, again, if we could start the video, really shows you how we can use this in a real-life situation. Here, you could say that we have an investigator deployed in, it could be Rio de Janeiro, and he's identified, because he's wearing the R6 glasses, a particular black bag. That information is sent back to mission control, and the analyst is able to actually identify that particular black bag, and he knows that there has been some spurious activity in that particular area, and immediately he is able to send information to our investigator at the location that, yes, this is a unidentified package that he needs to be cautious about and actually call in the appropriate squad to deal with it. So I think you can all appreciate how this could be used in a military application, but I'm sure that there are other applications that we can relate this to in the future, in having somebody in the real world being able to detect situational awareness, present that to mission control, who can then actually interrogate their database and then send that information back. So it moves from the fielded environment to the virtual environment, but effectively there's a lot of collaboration in terms of utilizing the information that we have. This last particular case is, again, very similar to the Vuforia cases in terms of mission training. If we could start the video here, what we have here is someone actually being trained on how to dismantle and then assemble a two-stroke engine. And you can appreciate that there could be much more complex equipment that is being used. Quite often it requires transportation to another location or the use of very expensive simulation equipment. Using virtual reality with the augmentation and also the gesture control, we can have the various individuals actually experience that particular environment, touch and feel the various parts that they need to understand, how to dismantle or reassemble, and then also to look at the interfaces that they may have to control within the environment. So I hope what I've been able to demonstrate here is that it is definitely moving forward in terms of utilizing augmented reality for mission-based activities. We have been using it to support our clients in terms of their training in hazardous environments so that we can protect life and obviously also improve the ability to use their resources in a very cost-effective way. Simply presenting them with a safe and also simple environment that means that they can improve their mission operational outcomes when they are actually deployed. So we believe that we can use these technologies to improve productivity, simplify the workflow and the processes, provide valuable and engaging experiences of a physical world in an augmented sense, and obviously this will lead ultimately to success because of our ability to very quickly and spontaneously access rich heterogeneous data sets. So with that, I'm more than happy to take some questions.
I know the military was an early adopter of some of this technology. Can you give us a sense of kind of how things have been moving with regard to adoption inside the military area lately? Is it, is it the curve kind of jumping up, or is it still kind of easing its way up the path?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a great deal of opportunity to utilize these technologies. I think it's to some extent still in its infancy. I don't think that we've seen the exponential rise yet, but it's talked about a great deal. I think there's never a journal that we receive from AFCEA or ONR that doesn't talk about these capabilities. They're obviously very keen on using simulation, and they do that routinely. So I think this is the next stage. If you've been to any of the military conferences, simulation is part of their mainstay of training. So I think that they see this, especially with the mission landscape changing. They know that they may have a different challenge in the future for utilizing technology in order to support active missions. So moving their soldiers, sailors, pilots into the space as soon as possible is going to prepare them for whatever comes next.
Very good, thank you, Vicki. I think in the interest of time, we'll leave it there. And if Vicki, I'm sure Vicki will be around in the break if anyone has further questions. If we could.